they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch. Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, November 9th. Let's not go through half the show with our background wrong again. There we go. It is November 9th, Thursday, November 9th. I hope everybody's had a good week. I hope everybody's feeling better than Landon and myself. I know Landon's been sick all day. I'm going to say there's a non-zero chance I don't fall asleep in the middle of this podcast. I took a little NyQuil just before we started. So
Jesus Christ.
Well, I didn't want to take it. I wanted it to kick in when I'm ready for bed because I'm at the point right now where it's like not fun to breathe, especially laying down. Like that's how bad my sinuses are.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping everything can just, by the time I go to lay down, I'm good to go.
Yeah, I brought 2 waters in here, and I'm probably going to cough every time, like I say, a complete sentence. But if you don't like it, I don't care. The show must go on.
Yeah, but please listen.
Yeah,
regardless, please suffer through it and listen.
I'll try to. If it's going to be a bad cough, I'll try to mute it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I feel terrible. Hope everyone's feeling better than us. This weather's kind of sucked. You all that have begged for warm weather, just know I hate you because we got it, and I think it is what has brought this all about. So,
No, the cold weather mixed in with the warm weather. The cold weather ruined it.
Seasons
warm weather, and then the cold weather came, and that's what ruined it.
Yeah, it's the warm weather's fault. It's cold weather. My point. Thank you, Landon.
The warm weather is beating cold weather's butt, and that's what's making us sick.
No.
Yeah.
No. You just wait. Cold weather's about to go on a long, long run. You just wait.
Yeah, and I'm gonna.
This is a 7-game series.
This is just a start. It's just like
they might
killing me.
They might win game 1. They ain't gonna win anymore. We're gonna talk some college football though. We're gonna get ready for Missouri 3:30. We're also gonna get ready for some college basketball too. Obviously, the Vols tipped off this week. We talked about that a little bit on Monday, but they also travel to Madison this weekend.
Yeah.
It's a big game.
I think it's going to be a really good game for Dalton.
Sunday.
Connect.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right?
Friday.
Is it Sunday? Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. Okay. Friday.
Yeah. Friday at 9:00 on Peacock. So
Love
random thing you could do.
Couldn't even do it on NBC.
I do think Dalton Connect's going to have a great game because I think
because he's white and white guys play good in Madison.
Well, I'm just saying Wisconsin might think he's supposed to be on their team, so they might just pass him the ball.
Look out for turnovers going Dalton Connect's way.
A lot of fast breaks.
Yeah. But yeah, an exciting weekend. So we will talk all about that. We'll also talk some college football, and whatever else kind of comes up today. I'm sure there'll be plenty. We're tangenting. I want to mention something else that's not in the the outline here. Tony Vitello. The man keeps going. Number 2 recruiting class. Also, real quick, I guess before we jump in the show, who do you think has the toughest non-rotational permanent opponents in baseball, and who do you think has the easiest?
Ooh, okay. I like this.
Because they did announce it. Tennessee's non-rotational will be Alabama and Vandy. Obviously, the Vandy one makes a ton of sense, and I guess the Alabama one kind of does too. Tennessee's not super challenging, but not super easy. Obviously, with Vanderbilt being in there.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a question about this.
Okay, nice.
So Josh Hazelwood said Can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Vandy was a no-brainer. Don't get me wrong, it's still Bama, but I've just never thought of them as a top baseball rival. Think Florida or even Arkansas would have made more sense. Maybe Arkansas is just recency bias, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you try to keep the main rival intact, which is Vanderbilt, and that's what they tried to do with everybody. And I think the rest of it was kind of geographical.
Yeah, I don't know. The only other one I think would make sense is probably Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like I just think Florida has LSU, Georgia, and who's their other one? South Carolina. That's weird. See, I thought they would have gotten LSU, but I guess that's just a football rivalry.
Yeah. And maybe this was like an SEC, like, I don't know, maybe this was kind of a football rivalry-ish.
Yeah, I think the lines get blurred because football's obviously the main one. So there's a lot of like, they're football rivals, so you think they're rivals and everything else, whether they are or not.
Sure.
And it's weird Tennessee's like a weird one. Obviously, Kentucky's a big basketball rivalry, but it's kind of an afterthought because of Kentucky's success. Until recently, the Tennessee Vanderbilt baseball rivalry was not really thought of.
Yeah,
even though obviously in-state opponents, it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I like that you get to play Alabama, regardless of whether it's big baseball. And I like that you don't necessarily want your permanent opponent to be someone like Vanderbilt that has a chance to be an Omaha contender every year. I mean, the hardest right now, outright, super A&M. I mean, got just the shaft end of things.
Yeah, A&M, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss. That's tough.
Yeah.
Now Mississippi State wasn't good last year, but in the last 10 years, Ole Miss and Mississippi State have been really good. So
yeah.
Another one that I think Mississippi State and Mississippi State got Ole Miss and LSU.
One thing that I think sucks that I hadn't seen it mentioned when people were like hardest one. Kentucky's sucks. They've got Vanderbilt and South Carolina. And South Carolina, I know the last few years hasn't been good, but historically speaking, South Carolina is a good program.
Yeah.
And Kentucky's just not great.
Yeah.
So that one's gonna suck for them. Because A&M, who I think has the hardest one, and the reason I think A&M has the hardest one versus the ones you mentioned is you just named off 3 really good teams that have hard ones, but they're all really good year in, year out.
Mm-hmm.
And A&M has good, they're a good program as well. They're just, I don't think that, I think Ole Miss and Mississippi State and LSU just won national titles. They're obviously not on that level. That's kind of why I lean towards A&M having the hardest and Kentucky kind of having the sneaky hardest, because those 2 teams just aren't going to have fun in those 2 series most of the time.
Yeah. I was trying to see who would have the easiest. Maybe Florida.
Florida, but they get South Carolina. So again, that's
yeah.
It might be Texas. Well, A&M being in there, it might be Texas though. Ooh, it's Oklahoma. Well, God. No, sorry.
I don't know. There's no easy one. Maybe Texas.
Yeah. Maybe Texas.
Arkansas does get Mizzou, so
Arkansas and OU get Mizzou, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But OU gets Texas and Arkansas gets Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So kind of balances that one out there.
Yeah, no one gets just a easy. Vanderbilt does get Kentucky.
Vanderbilt gets Kentucky. Yep. Tennessee, if Alabama bounces back at this point in the next few years, I will be shocked.
Yeah, we're going to keep taking their best players year in and year out, and we'll just keep on recruiting over them. So, yeah.
Well, this has probably been a year or 2 ago when I read about it. Apparently, they also just struggle with in-state recruiting, them and Auburn both, because they don't have lottery scholarships like a lot of states do. So they can't offer in-state, like where Tennessee and Vanderbilt benefit. Yeah, I guess Vanderbilt would benefit Vanderbilt benefits very differently, but where Tennessee can like benefit in a lot of other state schools is they can offer more than just athletic scholarships because of the lottery, like Hope and other things like that. Alabama doesn't have that. So when when Tennessee goes into Alabama, you're not out recruiting with academic scholarships or lottery scholarships.
Yeah. It probably doesn't help Alabama that their former coach bet against them. So
I mean, that's more so why I say the position they're in more than anything else. But it's also not like whoever's coming, the next guy up is going to get recruiting. It's not going to be a ton easier.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, that's exciting. I guess that'll take place starting in 2024-5. We're almost at 2024. That is insane.
Yeah.
God. All right. I guess let's get into this show. Let's talk Missouri. Orange Pants. Before we do that, Underdog. Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectible store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autographed helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT graduates and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by the 640 Plaza at 4452 Western Avenue in Knoxville, Tennessee. They're open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows 3 nights per week. Remember, always bet on the underdog. And that's what I did tonight. I bet on Virginia to win. Just sprinkled. Why not? Let's get weird.
What's the score?
Oh, it's just 7-0 right now with Louisville. You know what really led me to do it? Did you see Louisville's jersey release? Like their uniform release?
Is it bad?
It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It starts with a guy in a diner, and he hears like the power goes out. He just goes and sits down, like orders a meal. He's like, I'll have the usual. And then like the power flickers or whatever. He walks out to see like this green light, and it kind of reminds me. I don't know. It's very weird. This green orb flies around, lands on Louisville's field where the guy follows it to, and then it's just a player standing there, and they're all black jerseys, and then like the jerseys lighting up green. If you figure it out, it legitimately one of the dumbest things I've ever witnessed.
It sounds like a Green Lantern spinoff.
Kind of what I was thinking, and that movie sucked.
Yeah, it was bad.
So
there's a reason why, like every Deadpool movie, they refer to that movie with Ryan Reynolds.
I feel like the premise of a movie has Ryan Reynolds is a great actor. I feel like a premise of a movie has to really suck. If Ryan Reynolds, if the movie is just he has some like culty movies where like only like certain people like them, but I mean I feel like they're still like good quality movies. The Green Lantern, I've never met anyone who's like the Green Lantern's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah. No.
Similar how I've never met anyone. It's like Columbia, Missouri is kind of a cool town.
Yeah, Ferret Field.
Didn't we find out it's not pronounced ferret? Ferrot, something weird like that, like French.
Ferrat.
Is that it? I don't know what it is. It's not ferret, turns out.
Well,
which makes me feel real dumb when we talked about the best stadiums. We didn't know how to pronounce one.
Well, it is Memorial Stadium, so.
But it goes by Ferret Field or whatever, right?
Memorial Stadium at Ferret Field.
Is it a war memorial stadium or is it just memorial? What are they memorializing?
The ferret.
Okay. Good guy. Good rat. Good
Hopefully, Missouri's defense.
Hopefully they what?
Hopefully it's a memorial for Missouri offense and defense.
Yeah, I was going to say their entire team. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw a stat today. Again, brother texted me, did not fact check him, so we're just going to roll with it.
Okay.
Apparently there have only been 44 punt return yards against Tennessee in the Josh Heupel era.
Yeah, no, only 1 single yard this year.
Yeah, 1 yard this year. I actually gave that stat off Sunday show.
Oh, I remembered.
Again, I said I didn't fact check it. I just said that my brother told me.
No, that is true. I read that somewhere today.
I'm sure it is. I'm just saying that. I at the time I didn't fact check it. Yeah. I just said it. It was just kind of what I do with a lot of things, which is fine. I just read. I don't necessarily research. I just read.
Yeah.
Big online guy.
Everything you read is correct.
Bingo. Even if like it contradicts something else I read, I just go with like the most previous thing I've read. That is true. Recency
Oh, dude,
bias.
that's when I try to look up predictions for like betting. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Let's ride with that.
And
Until
then
I
you
read
see
something
10
else, and
minutes
I'm
later.
like, huh, that makes sense too. Let's go with that.
Would betting? Would we get the same level of excitement? You essentially hedge your bet. You're not even hedging. You're just betting against yourself all the time. Like, do I just bet Virginia to win and then put the equal amount of money it would take for either way I win? Well, I come out even if I just bet on Louisville. Like either way, I win a bet technically. Should I just start doing that?
Just
Do you
to
get the
say you
same
won.
feeling when you win, when you hit?
I don't think you'll get the same feeling.
It'll be like a kind of high though, right? You're right in some way. You do it on two different accounts.
You cheer for you get to pick one that you cheer for.
Yep. Like playing yourself in fantasy football.
Yeah, like, man, my FanDuel account is hot. My
DraftKings. Don't look at it. Yeah, don't look at my DraftKings. And that's our first tangent of the night. Wow,
Yeah.
look at that. Just 16
Missouri.
minutes into the show. Missouri. Let me tell you, I don't know if we talked about this on Sunday. After watching that Georgia game, I'm much more worried about their defensive line than anything else. I don't know kind of how you stand after watching it.
I know we can't look at like previous years, but Josh Heupel's had Missouri's number. So I got to think, and it is incredible how we were like the number 1 passing offense last year, and now we're like the number 3 rushing offense. I think Tennessee puts up yards, puts up points, as long as they can score in the red zone.
Right.
I'm not extremely worried. I mean, we ran the ball great against A&M. Ran the ball great against Kentucky. Those are 2 like really good defensive lines too. So I don't really worry about that a ton. I worry about them loading the box, playing man coverage on the outside, receivers getting open, Joe hitting those open receivers in tight windows. I think that's going to be the thing. But if Tennessee's run the ball effectively, I guess, whatever. That's what, the way we want to roll anyway. But the way that the passing offense has kind of come together a little bit these last few weeks, makes me feel better about it. I just their secondary is what worries me, not really their defensive line.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I think
their best defensive lineman is a Tennessee transfer.
Yeah. I mean, I think they are they're going to create quote unquote issues. I mean, I think the Texas A&M game's a great kind of one to point at. Outside of some really, really, just a dumb throw in the red zone. I don't even know if he was in the red zone, but he threw it into the end zone. And some other key play, like Joe Milton didn't play that bad in that game, but he also hadn't started playing well yet either.
Yeah.
Like he's playing, like, you just pointed to the last few weeks, this offense has seemed to work more efficiently. Now, a lot of that is credit to Jalen Wright and the entire running back room in the way they've played. So, yeah, I mean, that's obviously going to dictate a lot of the game, is if you can start the game running well, you're obviously going to be able to decide, dictate how this game rolls and how you call the offense. So Josh Heupel, yeah, obviously, I don't know what he has against Missouri, but he doesn't seem to call the dogs off. That was going to be one of my stupidities. I was just on YouTube kind of surfing earlier, just like getting some like college football for the week. And I got a suggested, I think it was one of Dave Hooker's shows. He thinks Josh Heupel was mad about what Eli Drinkowitz said about vacating wins. He thinks that's why he ran up the score last year. Just want to get your take on that. Do you think Josh Heupel gave a shit what he said about Jeremy Pruitt?
Yeah. I had nothing to do with Josh Heupel. And also, what about the points before that? Was he mad about something else?
Right. I don't know. It was a very weird take that I heard there. So just wanted to mention that. Hey, I think it's something to look out for. See if he's still upset with Drinkowitz about those comments.
I'm also not 100%. Like, I know their defense has been better in the past few years, and maybe I'm going to eat crow after Saturday, but like, they haven't really played a good offense besides LSU, and LSU scored 49 points. Kentucky rushed for 170 yards. LSU rushed for like 200 and something. Vanderbilt scored 21 points. Memphis scored 27. They beat Kansas State because of a 61-yard field goal by the
it's true.
kicker. So I just don't really know, other than they played Georgia pretty tight. I mean, they had to score 18 unanswered points to beat Kentucky.
Yep.
I just don't really know, like, how good they are. I mean, if we're looking, like, in the past, who's been the team that struggled or that Georgia struggled against the past couple years? It's been Missouri. So maybe that's the reason that they just play them tough for some reason. Maybe it's the same way with Florida or Kentucky with us.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that this team is a kind of weird team. I mean, you look at that LSU score. First off, it is worse than it should have been. They threw a late pick six to cover, for LSU to cover. That Kansas State game was just a weird game, and Kansas State seems like they might. I don't know. Have they gotten better since then? Even though they don't look great, they did not look good in that game late.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think this Missouri team's a lot better. This is the best Eli Drinkwitz Missouri team.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he's got playmakers. He's got a good quarterback. They have a good running back, a good receiver in Luther Burden. That's kind of what I'm worried about this game is just like, can our defensive line get home, get after Brady Cook where he's not able to just force feed Luther Burden?
Yeah, I mean it's going to take everyone in pass coverage.
Yeah.
That is the that includes the.
But he does try to force feed it. So like, man, jump a route.
Well, and one thing I wanted to comment too about Brady Cook, and Brady Cook is good.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people. That's why I said who am I most nervous about was it. I think a lot of people are worried about Brady Cook and how he plays. And one of the reasons I said defensive line, Brady Cook played pretty good in Neyland last year. He ran well. He scrambled his butt off, took a lot of plays from nothing and made something happen.
Mm-hmm.
They just got thumped. But he played okay. He got his due. You can even say he played well in some areas, especially later in the game. Played well. But that's why I'm not super worried. I think he'll get his due. Like, I think he'll play fine. Can Tennessee, you talk about, can they force turnovers, whether that be turnover on downs or I mean, I think this is even looking at I know we're going to play a lot of bend, don't break, especially teams that are efficient on offense, but got to find ways to win the field position battle. And that's really on both sides. Like when you're in the red zone, you got to score. You got to come out with points. And then defensively, can you get off the field? Find ways to get off the field and early and often.
Yeah, the two games that they've lost this year, Brady Cook has thrown 2 interceptions in both of those games. So I think it is going to have to be like, hey, this defense has to force turnovers, get the offense the ball back. Hey, do what we did against UConn and don't even worry about getting the ball back. Just go score.
Yeah, that's good with me.
Yeah.
I want 4 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, let's get injured on the PAT and let's get some time to rest a little bit and go back out there.
Do it every PAT no matter what happens. I want to see Jimmy Himes up in arms. Do it. I want him yelling at the clouds.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. It's dumb. He's not wrong. He's also wrong, though, that is not comparable to a defensive player doing it, which Tennessee does as well. But that situation is not comparable because one slows momentum of a team. The other one is just like, they got to do these TV timeouts at some point. Why not now?
Yeah, they're going to do it as soon as like we went to the sideline anyway.
It is. I wonder what the TV timeout schedule looks like that Josh Heupel seems to always do that when there isn't. Does he know it? Does he get that information? Would that be insider trading? Because he seems to do it only when there's not going to be a TV timeout.
I don't know. I have PTSD from the TV timeouts, like when I'm at the game in person, that anytime that there's like a stoppage in play, I look for the red guy to see if he's like making his way on the field.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
And now they're like 3 minutes flat all the time. I think I've seen some 3:30 up there.
Yeah, it's a long time.
What kind of ads are they running? Are these Super Bowl ads?
Too many.
Too many? They're too long?
Yep.
God. What do you think the signal is real quick for when they tell them to go down on PATs? Like, how do they know to do it?
I hope it's the middle finger. I hope somebody gives the middle finger.
But like the Jamie Tart?
Well, I'm thinking of like the catcher, like this pitch is going to hit the batter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I hope so.
Or it could be, did you see Sam Hartman when he got injured or got taken out for some reason?
No.
He was doing like sides, and it was just like,
oh yeah. Yeah, you gotta, we're gonna run little double post action. Yeah. Naked man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't peek.
Yeah, grab the nuts a little bit. Yeah.
Those are the best. If you guys need a fake signal caller, let me know.
You're in.
I'm in.
Or is it real?
They won't know.
Connor Stallings will figure it out.
Nah, he's not cheating. So how could he figure that out,
Landon? But going back to Missouri a little bit, let's. I feel like we talked about defense a little bit, like what we need to do. I think a lot of this game is going to be on your pass rushers. Also, your defensive tackles and stuff. They have to be able to push the line of scrimmage, make that quarterback uncomfortable a little bit, and that's when James Pierce and Tyler Barron can feast back there.
I think too, it's about not only rushing but like quality rushes. In that, a lot of the games that I feel like quarterbacks scramble well. Brady Cook's going to want to use his feet. It's about bringing him down outside the pocket or making him throw it away or making him make dumb throws outside the pocket for whatever reason. And I don't. Again, I think it's just because of the team I watch the most. I feel like Tennessee creates just these awesome running lanes in pass rush and makes it really easy for the quarterback to slide up in the pocket often. And maybe if I'm watching cheering on the team playing Tennessee, I might think that too. I don't know. But I think it's about, rushing quality rushes as well, not allowing those lanes to create themselves, because if you give him space, he's going to run.
Yeah.
And so I think it's about trying to find ways to minimize those. I think you're stronger in every position this year than you were last year, so I feel better about it. But I mean, if Max Johnson can have a pretty good day moving around on you, which he paid for it, but he 1 sack on the day. But I mean, I guess at least we punished him a little bit for it. But yeah, if he can move around, Brady Cook's going to move around.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, is this a game where you see them switch out corners a little bit? Does Ricky Gibson get any more run?
I feel like they're probably going to see some you're going to see some movement around, just because I think there's a lot of question marks in there now that your number one guy's gone. But I'm interested to see. I think it's the coaching staff as a whole, but especially Ricky Martinez and maybe Tim Banks. Like Ricky,
you mean Willie?
God, Ricky, you're on my mind, man. But Willie Martinez, but I think the whole staff, like they seem to just like who they kind of roll out there at the start. It's kind of their guy for whatever reason. I mean, what starters have you really seen on this team kind of had just lost their spot?
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
It's pretty rare.
Mm-hmm. But they do switch out those corners a little bit, especially like Danico Slaughter's been injured. So trying to get somebody else, whether that's Brandon Turnage or, a Ricky Gibson, somebody, Warren Burrell. But yeah, I think the way Ricky Gibson played, now, I mean, this is a different animal than UConn. I understand that. So I don't know. I just think that could be an option for you. Especially if somebody's getting beat. Why not?
Right. Yeah, I think they definitely need to explore at that position. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not the game to explore at, but
yeah.
Maybe find a dog in the mix this game.
Well, let's go offense a little bit. I mean, run the dang ball.
Just run it.
Run the dang ball. Jalen Wright, let's keep gashing him. I mean, let Joe Milton keep playing well. Keep being efficient with the football. I mean, the past 3 games, Joe Milton's like 75% completion rate. Brady Cook is not that. He's like 50-something. 57, something like that.
He's a gunslinger. What are you going to do with him?
Yeah. But I think this is going to be a game where Joe Milton runs the football well. Jaden Daniels rushed for over 100 yards. I know that's a little different than, with the skill set there, but I think Joe Milton can be efficient running the football like he did the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I think, too, that's something I think Josh Heupel's kind of allowed. I think we had a lot of questions, me specifically, about the play calling. I think him being more mobile for whatever reason. I know there's been some thoughts of injury, but willingness, injury, comfortableness, whatever it is, I think that him being able to run more has allowed this play calling to open up a little bit. And so I think Josh Heupel has to go with that in mind and how he's played the last few weeks, how he's ran the ball. And I think this play calling should be better in this game, than maybe some of the past bigger matchups. But I mean, that's something to look for though, is how's the play calling?
Yeah.
Is it first half Bama or second half Bama? Because if it's second half, just tell me now. I won't watch any of it.
Yeah, and Ladd McConkey last week had a lot of yards over the middle between the hashes. I wonder if that's something they're going to try to exploit with Squirrel White. That seems to be kind of Joe's favorite target at this point. So
not wide enough.
Not wide enough, is that what you said?
Yeah. Which, funny enough, his last name is White, so that's why I said not wide enough. Everyone knows the great receivers. Julian Edelman.
Dante Thornton, what does he look like in this game? Does he?
This could be a big
give us something
here moment. Yeah,
yeah.
You called for him. You said we were missing him, and he shows up a little bit in the Kentucky game.
Yeah, where's he at? Mel Keaton get going. I just think Tennessee runs the ball effectively. When they get a chance to score, they score, and then this one kind of gets put away.
I would love nothing more. I like that this isn't a night game in Missouri. I don't know what the temperature is supposed to be during the day, but it's like when the sun goes down there, man, the temperature drops 45 degrees.
Yeah.
So I like that this is
could this be a big McAllen Castles game?
Could be. I think that's a good look.
Just a freaking
dog. He's a
bulldozer.
Dog. Yeah. He gets the glove signed by Nico, and now he's a different human.
Yeah. And Joe's like, hey, let me sign these. Here's a couple more touchdowns.
There you go.
Yeah.
Every touchdown should have to be signed from now on, McAllen. You started it, you got to finish it.
Yeah.
I really don't have a ton for this game. I think this is this matchup presents plenty of trouble for Tennessee, but I don't think any more trouble than they've seen. This isn't unique. Whereas, next week's a little different animal, but this week I don't think super unique. Presents a challenge. It is on the road, but it's not a very hostile environment. It's not any more hostile than the one you won in 2 weeks ago in.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is an incredibly challenging game. I think that Tennessee is going to have their fair share. They're going to have to go out and execute on both sides of the ball and special teams, which they have to do every game. But I mean, I think you do have to kind of be better than you got to be better than most days. But this isn't a game that I'm sitting here thinking Tennessee has to play exceptional to win. They've got to do some things really, really well, and they've got to be good and crisp in other areas. But this isn't for me. Like, I'm not sitting here thinking Joe Milton's got to play an incredible game for us to win this. I think it hinges a lot more on, do you have the number one backfield in the SEC on Saturday?
Yeah, and people have said, well, Cody Schrader's really good too. Yeah, he's pretty good, but he also has like 100 more yards than Jalen Wright, and he has 50 more carries. Imagine what Jalen Wright could do with 50 more carries.
Yeah, and it's good that he's not having to. Like, that's the thing is if it's not Schrader's day, like where does Missouri go? If it's not Jalen Wright's day, you still got Dylan Sampson. You still got Jabari Small if he's playing.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not playing a lot of running backs at Mizzou. They're playing Cody Schrader, and that's about it.
Yeah. Fun fact: Elijah Young was the third leading rusher in this game last year for Missouri. He averaged 7 yards per carry on 3 runs. So glad he's not there to beat us up.
He was a player of the week.
Good for him.
For Western Kentucky. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So
shout out South Louisville Cookies.
Shout out, yeah.
But we're also looking for a big game from other South Loyal affiliates in McAllen Castles.
Exactly. Yeah. I was trying to see how many. Georgia got 3 sacks. That's one thing about Missouri is like Brady Cook hasn't been sacked a whole lot. I think 16 times on the year.
Which is crazy because I feel like in the first few weeks, that's all I saw was alerts about how not great this offensive line was.
Right. Yeah, and they've kind of cleaned it up, and I think 4 guys returned from last year's team. So, that helps just having continuity across the offensive line. As we know, when Cooper Mays came back, this offense seemed to just be different in the way it ran with the tempo and everything like that. Yeah, got to get after the quarterback. Didn't get after the quarterback against Kentucky. Only had 1 sack. I think we only had 1 sack against UConn as well. So this could be a big opportunity. Hopefully Rodney Garner got in their butt. Just like, guys, y'all aren't that good.
Dang.
Yeah. And this is the game that they prove it at. And you have a lot to play for.
You have a lot to play for. I know it relies on some other things happening, but the fact that like there's still hope that you could play in Atlanta. I mean, that's a lot. And like there's still like people can sit here and argue about prestigious bowl games. There's none such thing exists, but like you still would rather play in a BCS bowl than the Citrus, whatever. Yeah. The Mayo Bowl, Duke's Mayo Bowl. No one wants to go back to Nashville for the Music City Bowl. So yeah, I'm sure. Okay, bowl games don't matter, but there's still bowl games you'd rather play in. So like in that sense, there's still something to play for too, and how you finish your season. But the fact that like Atlanta is still potentially on the table when you start your game Saturday, like you have a ton to play for.
Yeah, and like even if Georgia does beat Ole Miss, like you could still realistically get to 10 wins. But if you lose this one, it's probably out the window.
Yeah. Yeah. A 10-win season would be massive. I mean, would be massive. Obviously, there's still going to be some disappointment with not beating Florida, with losing how you did to Alabama. And if you don't make it to Atlanta, like there's still going to be disappointment there. But at the end of the day, like when you're trying to kind of figure this thing out, still trying to play a little catch up because of just what we've been through, what Tennessee's been through. Like they're still playing some catch up. So like getting this double-digit win season after everything you've been through, then finishing last year, you still have a lot to play for, regardless of whether Atlanta's there or not, which again, people are going to think this is, a loser talk and whatever. They can lie to themselves and act like they wouldn't be pleased if their team did it. There's still a lot of things that happen that you'd like to have done differently, and you're disappointed that didn't happen. But I don't know. I guess I'm dumb for not being mad if my team doesn't win a championship every year. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not a Yankees fan or, about all these Cowboys fans have been disappointed the last 25 years. How do you like winning championships? It must have been fun.
They know what winning a championship is like.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, even LeBron bandwagon fans, like, you only got so many. Haven't been fun lately, has it? Your Mickey Mouse championship.
Wow.
Listen, if it wasn't in Orlando, I'd feel differently. But it's factually speaking, it is a Disney Mickey Mouse championship. Just speaking facts. That's not even up for debate. It was hosted by the freaking mouse himself.
I actually watched more NBA during COVID than I do now. It's like the only thing to do. Oh yeah.
I thought it was way less fun to watch than I watched more old football games during COVID.
We did do that, yeah.
That was fun. I was telling somebody about that 9-8 rewatch.
It was fun. We should do another season of some sort.
We should start watching random teams.
I don't think that'd be as fun.
If you pick the right season, I think it could be fun. I feel it'd be fun to watch, like, trying to think of like some like obscure, like a Texas Vince Young 2009 season. You don't think that'd be a fun rewatch?
Yeah, it might. I think we should like do one like 2020. We should do like a just terrible Tennessee 2020.
It wasn't enough pain to live it the first time.
Yeah. I just think it'd be good content.
It absolutely would not be.
I think it would.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It happens.
I did get the wagon and carriage debate settled.
Okay. I don't think there was much debate. I think I kind of like debated with myself, but go on.
So the wagon is stuff like carried for you.
Okay.
The carriage is meant for carrying humans.
Carriage is passenger.
Yeah.
Wagon is cargo.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I feel like there's a lot of people on that cargo wagon, though, for Oklahoma.
Illegally.
Are they smuggling? Smuggling humans? Are they a part of the border crisis?
Well, that would be a carriage.
But Oklahoma uses a wagon. Like a covered wagon. That's the name of the transportation device. It's called a covered wagon.
Well, they are dumb because.
So is it similar to like Air Force One, where like if the president's on it, it's Air Force One. If like there are people on the wagon, it becomes a carriage. Is it a ratio? Because at some level they're carrying things.
Maybe. I don't know.
We have not settled this debate at all. You are wrong.
I just looked up the difference, and that's the difference. So carriage is meant for humans. So I don't care what Oklahoma calls it. They're calling it wrong if they're calling it a wagon.
Why are they calling it wrong if they call it a wagon, though?
Because a wagon's meant for cargo, not humans.
But zero?
Like a wagon is something like you would carry behind you.
No, wagons. No, that is the name of the thing. It is a wagon. It's a covered wagon. It's what people move west in. So not a single person can be in the wagon, even like driving it.
I don't argue with the dictionary.
I'm arguing with someone who read the dictionary. Maybe you read it wrong. No, a wagon. They use a wagon. It's a covered wagon. It's the name of it. You ever play the Oregon Trail? You operated wagons. There was a man in it, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a carriage.
I know for a fact you're wrong about this.
I know for a fact that you're wrong.
Google covered wagon. A wagon isn't exclusively used to pull behind you like a red flyer. That's what you're thinking of. You're thinking of a brand. You call all tissues Kleenexes?
No, it says a wagon is mostly for carrying cargo or hay or whatnot, and a carriage is for carrying people.
Okay, I want you to Google covered wagon and see what pops up. First picture. And then I want you to look up the Boomer Sooner wagon, or just, I don't know, Google whatever you want to. It's the same thing.
Dude. Yeah, a wagon is like these things that you pull behind.
No, yeah, they're pulled behind horses. Look, I just Googled covered wagon. This is what came up. That's the same wagon the Boomer Zoomer uses. You need to read or watch more history things. The covered wagon is a very popular thing. I shouldn't have to be explaining this to you.
Okay, what about a carriage? It's the same thing.
They're synonymous. You're right. They are synonymous. This would be an example of a carriage. You see those pull behind horses as well.
Yeah, exactly.
They could be used to carry cargo. At that point, I guess it's a wagon. But there's always going to be a driver. Cargo planes aren't passenger planes just because there's a single pilot in it.
Dictionary told me.
I think you're misinterpreting it.
I always knew of the little red wagon as something that you pull behind.
There's more options than just that. Do you think of Jeeps just as the little Jeeps that little kids drive around the driveway, the battery-powered ones?
Yeah, it's a Jeep.
It is a Jeep. You're right. It's a Jeep. I don't know where you get your information from, but it's a bad. You should delete that website from memory. Also, the fact that it says for hay, cargo or hay or whatnot leaves a lot open to the imagination. I would just like to clarify that.
That's straight from Google, so you can argue with them. Let's get to something else. Who gives a rat's ass?
I don't like that you're not letting me tangent.
Yeah, I don't care. Game prediction.
37. 31. Vols. Figure the kicker puts in one to try to put him in reach. Vols finish him off.
Okay. Dylan called it a stagecoach.
That would be an example of a carriage. You people are just uncultured swine.
I'll go 38-27 Vols.
I like it.
1.5 point favorite. Do you think? I mean,
I think Vols should be favored in this one. Makes sense to me.
Do you think? Well, never mind. It's dumb. If Kentucky was at home, we beat Kentucky at home, and we haven't won a single road game, do you think we'd still be favored?
Say that again.
So we won that game at Kentucky. What if Kentucky was at home? We beat them, so we haven't won a road game. Do you think it would be the same? But do you think since we beat Kentucky on the road, we've proven we can win on the road?
Ew, that's a good
not
point.
used against us anymore.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. Being at Fairfield, I don't know if that changes really anything.
Yeah. It'd make me feel better if it was a noon game. I think the last two were a noon game when we scored in the 60s. This team loves playing at noon. As much as I hate noon games, but they do.
Again, especially those meaningless and or away games that I'm not at. I'm all for noon.
Yeah.
I support noon games in those situations only.
I think it's because we practice in the morning.
Probably so.
All right. College football. Honestly, haven't picked anything. I picked one.
I've got some games. Before we do talk about those, I want to remind you all, go check out Memento. It's a great app. It's an app for sports fans who love going to games. It allows you to track the games you've been to. college football is obviously, that's what we're selling right now. Maybe it's college football season, but good news. They've got NFL football. They've got NBA. They've got college basketball now. They've got global soccer. They've got it all. And it's a great way to track it. Great way to see what your friends are doing. You can tag the friends you went to the games with. I tagged Landon for the UConn game. I don't think he tagged me for the UConn. It's no big deal though. But you can track all the games you've been to. I love seeing that how many hours I've attended sporting events tick up. It's great. So make sure you download that. See what your friends are up to. You tell people where you've been, what stadiums you've been to. You can also see how many touchdowns you've seen live and in person. Basketball, they need to do like 3-pointers. I wonder what they have for basketball. I need to check that out. So many cool things and stats to see on the app Memento. Make sure you download it today. We're going to see the link. And you guys make sure you send that to your friends too. Make sure you guys all get it downloaded.
I just tagged you.
Perfect. Also, since you guys are going to keep talking about the wagon stagecoach debate, or not even stagecoach, carriage debate, real quick. Carriages.
No, we're done talking about it.
Carriages can only carry people. They are only meant for carrying people. Wagons, however, are not exclusive to anything. They can carry cargo or people. That is what the whatnot was, Landon. You've played Red Dead Redemption. You can't differentiate a wagon from a carriage.
No. All right.
You're too stupid to breathe, which you conveniently can't do right now. Shout out to the weather.
Yeah, you're cold weather that brought this upon us.
You weren't sick when it was cold. So explain that.
I was.
Doctor. So you were around me you were around me sick? Is that how I'm sick?
Probably.
Cool. Glad you care about saving lives, Landon. Are you even vaccinated?
I had my mask on. Some good games this week.
Yeah.
Michigan Penn State at noon. That's weird to have that game.
That's their have you not picked up on that's the Big Ten's SEC has
that's their thing, which
yeah.
I don't understand it. But
no, I don't understand. A lot of their teams are in Central Time Zone too, so it means it's 11 a.m. kickoff.
Yeah, like
really
give those Penn State fans a night game.
They want to wear white. Sue them. Which Jim Harbaugh will do if given the opportunity.
Yeah. Speaking of sue, Lane Kiffin might get sued before, or I guess he's
already getting sued. Yeah.
That's a crazy story.
Listen, argue if you want about what he said. If you agree, disagree, whatever. Calling a guy a pussy is you kick him off the team is just real bold. Just real bold. I don't think it's $40 million bold. That's pretty insane, but it's bold nonetheless.
Also, just taking 2 weeks off in the middle of the season and come back.
There was a lot of bold done in that scenario. Correct.
Yeah, like that's not how it works. You don't get short-term disability.
I am unfortunately a little bit rooting for him. If he loses, that's okay with me. I won't be disappointed. But yeah, I mean they get Georgia at home, or Georgia at their home.
Yeah, also, I Googled this guy. I was like, man, is this like a star player for them?
No.
Hasn't recorded a single stat this year. So it's like, what?
Wait, this year? He hadn't played, I thought. He got kicked off last year.
Oh, this was last year?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't think he's on the team anymore.
That makes sense.
But I don't think he was a key player, if I remember.
No, he had 2 tackles.
Yeah.
Last year.
A weird hill to die on, that's for sure.
Yeah. Miami, Florida State play.
This is actually one of my games.
Okay, go ahead.
I should say, let me see what I officially decided on. I think I'm taking Miami to cover, though.
14?
It's a lot of points.
There's a lot of points.
Miami's not good, but are they that bad? They're going to lose to Florida State by 14? I'm taking it. I just talked myself into it. I might bet the over just to be safe, because if
Miami did just lose to NC State.
Oh, they're not good. 14 is a lot of points. Well, yeah, but we're not going to use transitive property today.
Okay.
What games you got on?
I got Kentucky, or I got Alabama minus 10.5 over Kentucky.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna bet on that one. Is it minus 11? That's actually I did bet on it, so that's one of my locks. Is Alabama minus 11?
Yeah,
that seems like a lock. Sorry if I'm wrong, but I hate if I just jinx that for you because I've been sucking. But it's a lock.
Full ride, baby.
So Oregon USC, the overs are like 75, but it's 10:30 p.m. start. Do we take it? It's gonna get weird, right?
The over?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the over. I mean, Oregon might score that by themselves.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
It's true. Well, I don't know. New defense coordinator. You never know. Things could get weird. A game I'm not on. Would you take North Carolina? Would you even think about taking North Carolina 14.5?
No.
Yeah, that's insane.
Have they lost to Virginia?
I don't necessarily want to take Duke though either, even though it's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Another lock here. It's the Florida LSU under. Yeah. 65.5. I don't see those teams combining for 65.5. I think LSU would have to score like 45. Maybe more. I don't see it happening. That's a night game in Baton Rouge. That's a game I'd love to see in Death Valley at night. Florida LSU.
What about Rutgers, Iowa?
What is that under? Good Lord.
28.5.
Hammer it. You see where Northwestern and Iowa, they scored the most points the 7th most points in Wrigley this year.
Good God.
Or 5th most points, whatever it was. The fun fact about that is the way football scoring is kept, they would be so low if, football scoring was kept one touchdown equals 1.
Iowa would be a bad soccer team.
Oh, an awful soccer. Awful. Hey, but you're always in games, baby.
Yeah. I'm going Oklahoma State minus 2.5 over UCF.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Dylan, I don't know what your locks are. Did he already tell us?
No. Can he hop in here?
He can if he wants. Dude,
no, can he physically do what?
I feel so bad.
I feel awful. I feel terrible. Let's get through these locks then.
I guess I got one more. I got
a
over or under. Dylan, you want to go ahead? Dylan doesn't.
I don't know if he can get in. Okay. He's having some issues. My last one is James Madison over 48. Didn't like their spread. It was a lot of points, so I'm taking the over. They're playing UConn, so just need him to go really beat the absolute hell out of Jim Mora.
Okay. I like that. I think I like the Tennessee Missouri over.
Okay. Dylan did.
Yeah, I think I'm in. All right. Little basketball real quick.
Yeah, let's do
it. So Tennessee got the first win over Tennessee Tech. And then making their way to Madison for tomorrow's game against the Badgers. I'm intrigued. I don't know really anything about Wisconsin other than they're usually a decent program.
No, this game kind of snuck up on me too. It was like, oh, it's here.
Yeah, 9:00 on Peacock.
Love it. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Really fired up for that matchup. I think this is a good, obviously, Michigan State was a good measuring stick for Tennessee, but I think this one early in the season against, like you said, a good program, whether the team is this year or not, we'll find out, but a good program. So I'm interested to see rotation, man. Does it tighten up and how does it work? There's a lot of guys that could play on this Tennessee team. But you can only play so many guys, and you can only play them for so many minutes. Like I have this like Justin Gainey. I feel like he's just a guy that's not going to get as many minutes as he quote unquote should on a normal basketball team. But this team's got some dudes on
it. Yeah, the way he's shooting, I mean, it's going to be hard to keep him off the floor. But it was weird the other night, and you didn't really need it. But I mean, Santi had 2 points. Zakai had what? 3 points. I mean, just nobody unlike your key guys, like Tobe didn't have, he had 0 points. Adu had 4. Yeah, so I mean, like, you're like core guys, didn't really have to do much, but you have like Josiah lit it up, Jordan Gainey, obviously Dalton Connect could be one of the best players in the SEC this year.
I just love that we have a guy that goes to the hole with just reckless abandon, like he's going.
Yeah, and when they landed kind of him and Jordan Gainey, I was like, okay, well, they got shooters.
Right.
But no, they landed some scorers.
Yeah, truly.
They're not just going to sit out, behind the arc like Justin Powell did, just scared to shoot. I mean, these guys are locked and loaded, and if they're not open, they can get to the basket. They can find, open space on the floor and get to that spot and knock down some jumpers. So
yeah, absolutely.
Do it at all levels.
Good little, you're a basketball guy right there. We have scorers. Yep. It's a good term. I like that.
Yep.
There's a difference.
I want to see Wisconsin is 1-0. I want to see who they played.
Arkansas State.
Oh, they scored 105 points. They gave up 76 though, so
they can score. Seems they can score.
They're probably pretty good at free throws, if I had to guess.
Tennessee, are they good at free throws? Because last year this time they were really bad.
Yeah, I think the guys
that a lot of time at the free throw line this offseason.
Yeah. And the guy who's probably going to get fouled the most is Dalton Connect, and he's good at free throws. So
there you go.
I think we're good.
I like it.
Yeah, this will be a good kind of first, which you kind of already had that Michigan State, but just kind of that road test, like in a different environment.
Right.
But then Michigan State loses their first game.
Yeah, I don't love to see that. Hey, but James Madison, man.
Some dollars.
They're the team. They're the program. They're the athletic department. It's just James Madison all the way. Go Dukes.
Yeah. Go Dukes. Yeah. We'll be watching that game tomorrow. Can't wait for that. And just glad college basketball's back. It gives me something to do throughout the week too.
Absolutely. Well, first off, action.
Yeah, we do have action, but let's be honest. Like we talk about how great those games. Like we love it before the season starts, but as the season gets here, you're just like, and that game kind of sucks. That game kind of sucks.
Right.
So.
All right.
I just like options.
Do I now?
I just like options.
Exactly.
What's next?
Little stupidities before we get out of here.
Yeah, let's do that.
I read one of mine. My I'll do USC linebacker Mason Cobb. He said he hadn't watched film ahead of this week's matchup with number 6 Oregon. I didn't read the article. I don't need to read the article. That's just really, really bold and dumb.
Yeah.
Let's say USC wins.
I think it's smart though.
You can't then not watch film for but then you kind of have to. You corner yourself if you do win that game. But more than likely, you're not going to win it. So then you just look dumb for not watching film and then pronouncing to everyone that you didn't watch film.
I like it because he didn't waste time to watch film because he knew he knows they're not going to stop him anyway.
Yeah, might as well prepare in other areas, like his college degree, which he's going to have to use.
Exactly.
I don't know how good he is, but that defense as a whole, not good.
Exactly. Orange pants are back. Do you like the orange pants?
Love the orange pants. I'm excited.
Yep. I have Dion.
Okay.
He says Colorado players fighting in practice is a great thing.
Some people love it, man. What are you gonna do?
I feel like
Hey,
this. I feel like that's like a fall camp thing. Like you're tired of each other.
Yeah.
Like at this point in the season, like that's not a
probably not a good sign.
No,
it's a good point. Good
he
point.
said some guys fight hoping for the breakup. No, we're gonna let you go. I love it. I mean, you're just letting somebody get their ass beat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just not great.
No. Nope.
I feel like I had another one. Oh, the Atlanta Hawks. Did you see their also the NBA in general, just the in-season tournament? Like, what the heck is that? What does it do?
I don't know.
I just think that's the dumbest thing. Anyway, they had like an OnlyFans like hype video. And it was really weird. It was like this, like basically the mascot like laying on a bed, like seducing, and it had like the OnlyFans logo.
Okay.
It was super weird.
Interesting. Yeah, that is weird. I miss this.
Somebody was like, what has the city of Atlanta gotten to?
Yeah. Bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah. Any more?
That's it.
I got one more. Hootie and the Blowfish coming in Knoxville. No one buy tickets to that.
No, and let me say too, I'm glad you mentioned that. Unlike some of the grifters that are Tennessee fans of country music singers, I do respect Darius Rucker. He's a South Carolina fan. I respect that he got on stage and he said it. But just because I respect him for it doesn't mean I don't think he should pay retribution for it.
Yeah. Use it against him.
Better to be a guy that is clear about his party lines than a grifter that wears Alabama stuff or goes and parties at a school while he's cheering on the team at a game. Then it's much better to be what Darius Rucker is. But no reason to give him your money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can respect you and hate you. I can.
It would be the best thing ever if he had to cancel it because due to lack of interest.
That would be awesome. Love it.
That would be
awesome. Love it. And Hootie and the Blowfish rocks. That sucks. I would love to go to that concert, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, can't.
I don't want to be like you. He does suck as a country singer. I'll say that.
You know who doesn't suck? Rock. Post Malone.
No, dude can do anything. He's versatile.
Did you listen to that?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Have you not heard him like sing country before? He's done like I've seen
actually
like
he was the best country singer on that stage.
Probably. Well, I mean, Hardy's not a country singer, anyways. But yeah, probably so.
Yeah, Hardy is bud.
Yeah, I don't get the appeal to him at all. Whatever tickles your fancy.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's
Dylan did have Aaron Rodgers dropping a bong on the sideline. I don't think I saw that.
Dropped a bong?
That's what he said.
An entire bong? Send that to me. What?
My video is not working, so I can't come on video. But yeah, I saw a TikTok video of him picking up like what looked like a shoebox on the sideline. And the way he picked it up, it just dropped out and broke in half. I mean, if you watch the video, it's clear as day what it is. But like the stupidity, why would you even have that on the field?
Yeah, his drug use is getting out of hand. That's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Well, he's in rehab.
I'll see if I can find the video and send it to you. But
yeah, please do. What? All right, guys. I hope everybody has a good week, rest of the week, good weekend. We will see you back here Sunday. Please don't get sick. It sucks.
Yeah. Don't do it. Take medicine. Stay away from everybody. Good thing.
Unlike Landon.
Yeah. We're getting all rested up for Georgia next week. So
absolutely
be ready for that. Guys, thanks again. Have a good rest of your week. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.